So remember what we said about the baby bunnies? No, we're not looking for more. So we came outside this morning and we found out what the little whining was outside of inside the Cuba, which I pretty much thought there might be another nest back there, because our bunnies appear to be so prolific this year. But little Missy got a hold of one, and I heard a little squeaking. As soon as I came outside, I told her to drop it, and it scurried away. So it was okay, but she was on a mission, and she's not going after the bunnies like that for some time. But, you know, that's her little instinct. Anything that comes here, she's on a mission. So I'm on a mission this morning because I'm ready to do some chainsaw action. I got to finish up that job in the back where I had that huge limb that came down. Excuse me, so I'm going to try to get that cut up before, hopefully, we get a hand or two today. So I'm going to try to work on getting that cut up. So I have my smaller chainsaw here, and then my soul brother let me use his larger one. He's got a battery powered one that's got a larger blade than mine, which I'd like to get one of these eventually too. I used to have a really big gas chainsaw, but I gave that away many years ago. It's when I used to do a little bit of tree work with my landscaping business. I've had some interesting adventures that way. Like, really interesting adventures. The things I used to do. So, you know, one thing is always be prepared for the task at hand. So, I've got both of these to take care of that work. And I'm going to get up here on the step ladder and see if I can pull as much of this down as possible. This is all that old vine that Bob Daniel and I cut the root area that went all the way back here to keep it from moving up through this oak tree. And it's slowly starting to die. Looks like something in a movie. So each time a storm comes, a little more and more of it dangles. There's some of it that I pulled down over here. But let's just take a walk around this morning. Walk with Kai and I for our morning walk before I get started. Come on, Bunny Cruncher. She's looking all shameful because she knows we always have conversations about the bunnies and the other little babies that are born here. She's good for the most part, but you know, she is half Jack Russell, so they were born to hunt, and she just doesn't have aggressive tendencies. So if I catch her in time, she is pretty good. So this is the situation that I had started the other day that I shared with you all. Excuse me. So this, I'm going to continue to let this dry out so that we can burn it. But these logs over here are some really nice kindling, so we'll get that stacked up. But this is the limb that I needed the larger chainsaw for, and I think what I'm also going to do is possibly take the opportunity to take this other limb right here out too, since I have the larger chainsaw, because it's Yeah, it'd be probably a good idea to take this one out. Then that would open up this area. I gotta see how I can do that so I don't crunch this beautiful hydrangea. So I have this to take care of. We might have something that's formed a home under here, because this would be a great house for some little item, and there must be something living under there because she's kind of going for it. Could be bunnies living in here, or who knows. Come on, Kaya. So let's walk around here and see what else. Going to trim this out, take this honeysuckle out here that's turned into a tree. So I'll cut it down and then we'll dig it out. Same with this one. Cut this one out. Dig that out. Trim this black willow right here because the branch is amazing. I had cut this way back last year, like really giving it a haircut, and they just really thrive near wetland areas, so it's ideal near this pond. But I'm going to trim that out, get this honeysuckle out of here. Come on, Kai. I'm not sure what the weather's supposed to do today, but this morning is a perfect time to do all that. I'm going to trim this branch here on the pine that's kind of drooping out over the pond. Come on, buddy. Got some things up here. I did all this work out here last night. So all these things planted in here. So I'm going to also trim up. One of the first things I want to do is trim up this there's a little bunny right there. That's probably one of the brothers and sisters. It's starting to get pretty big. They're pretty visible this year. So we're going to trim this plum tree up also. Just get some of this dead branches out of here, which I'm going to use my smaller chainsaw for that. I'm going to leave the peach trees for now because they've got tons of peaches dangling on them that are getting big and ripening up. So we're just going to leave these be and let them continue to do their thing, and then probably trim it up once and this branch I pulled down, so I'm gonna get that as much as I can, get that trimmed up. Let's see if there's any trees through here. Come on, let's go. She's standing there looking at me. She still has that shameful look on her face. Like, yes, I did try to crunch the bunny. You stole my joy before I completed my task. I'm sure there have been ones that she's crunched, and I haven't gotten to her before she did it, but it's unfortunately all part of it. So we'll trim this up just a little bit. I don't want to mess with it too much because there are a lot of nuts on the trees. So, wow. This pecan tree is just growing right up here. And so is this chestnut. This is amazing. Amazing how big these things have gotten. So we got to do a little bit of maintenance on the grapevine. Tie these things down because it's just growing. If you remember, I cut this back significantly so I could start training it on this archway. The reality of it is I could put another cattle panel on here. That's something to consider as well. I'll think about that. So we do have this other situation over here, which had started last year during a storm. And I knew I needed to take care of it at some point, but it kind of went down on the list. But during one of the storms, this tree, which I think, let me look at it closely. Looks like it's a sassafras. Yeah, so there's a possibility. We'll see once we cut this out. But this got pulled out of the ground, and it wasn't leaning as much as it is, right? This fence is kind of, when this last storm came through, it just about it pulled it up out of the ground even more. So it's all leaning here. This is like in front of the driveway, and it's leaning on the fence that I put in right here. So what I'm going to do is cut this in here, then cut all this up. I'll get some of the small branches first with the small chainsaw. You know, I've got a little process. So I'll get the small leafy branches off, and then we'll use the larger chainsaw. It looks like there was some ivy that was growing on this as well. So we'll use some ivy to cut this as much as possible to get the stress off the fence, and then I'm probably going to push the rest of it back over that way and just let it kind of decompose because it's attached to some deeper roots. So yeah, so those are the things that I want to primarily focus on today, which is going to be more maintenance. And there's quite a bit of there's other maintenance, of course, that has to be done, but this is going to be my focus today, and trying to get that, because this branch here is pretty huge. So I think I'm going to work on this one first, since it's right here in front of the driveway and it's so large. Probably get some decent outdoor firewood. I wouldn't want to probably burn that inside because it's got vines and things that, and some of them look like they potentially might be ivy vines. But I'll pull off of it what I can use and have that for the outside. So yeah, that's what's happening here this morning. So yeah, if you know, if you're not maybe at the beach or hanging out someplace barbecuing and you just want to get outside, do a little bit for an hour or so. Stop on by. If you don't see me more immediately, travel to one of these areas. Probably hear the chainsaw going. You know, come to the back or whatever. Look for me or message me. I'll be out here somewhere. Okay, have a good day.